everybody. Welcome to World of Pain. I'm your host, Lauren DeLuca. This is a special edition this weekend as we prepare for Monday, May 21st, which is Call the Media Day in our pain advocacy community, where all advocates will be calling local media stations and national media stations to get our voices out about the opioid crisis and its impact on those suffering from chronic illnesses, chronic pain, and intractable pain. Now, this is an excellent idea, and Chronic Illness Advocacy and Awareness Group fully supports Call Your Media Day on Monday, May 21st. So, in support of that, we wanted to do a quick video to give you some tips about calling your media and how to make the most effective reach out for an actual story about your pain and what you have to say. So, you could reach out to your local media or national. So we'll start with local media, as local media is really, I think, the best area all of us should be focusing on, as the national focus has really been on the opioid crisis and its impact for those suffering from substance use disorder. And we are starting to see a little bit of a turn now where the national media is asking for stories about pain patients who are no longer able to access their medicine and things of that nature. However, we're still not seeing the big story about why we're not able to access our medicine. We haven't seen any mainstream media outlets doing stories about the CDC corruption or the inflation of numbers that seems to have been confirmed, however, just swept under the rug as though this was not a big fraudulent game within our federal government. So we need to let our legislators and the media know that we are organizing and that we do know what's going on. And I actually have a wonderful document that we're going to be publishing to help you reach out to the media successfully and to help tell your story. As you all know, Chronic Illness Advocacy and Awareness Group joined the 2018 Heroin and Opioid Summit in Georgia. Now, while we were there, we attended lots of conferences and were able to learn a lot about the opioid crisis and all sides of this issue that each of us should know, as if we're ever going to advocate for an issue successfully, we need to know all sides. And I was witness to some very disturbing things that among them was a presentation that stated how to talk to the media about heroin. Now, as you all know, this is a major issue that is affecting millions of people's lives on all sides, whether they're suffering from substance use disorder and need to reach out to be able to seek recovery, or if you are a chronic illness or chronic pain patient, you are suffering from discrimination in your healthcare and potentially being pushed off your medications or blocked access altogether, and are suffering an inhumane abuse that no human being should have to endure or go through. And unfortunately, our media is culpable for this issue in itself. We will be publishing our version of how to talk to the media about chronic pain and opioids. Now, there are a lot of things about chronic pain and opioids that are in the media that are absolutely, positively false. And it is leading to us being injured in our legislation changes. So this is our opportunity on Monday, May 21st, to call the media in your local area and let them know about your pain and your suffering, because it does matter. And as we found at the conference, there is a specific way to reach out to media and get success. So we are using the federal government's documents and recreating those for our advocates to fight back and fight back smart. So, what should you know? Well, I think your most effective place is to start off and reach out to your local media. If we get a lot of media stories into small local papers, those will start pushing out into other areas. Chronic Illness Advocacy and Awareness Group started out with one news story in a local paper in Worcester, Massachusetts, that has now grown into a national nonprofit fighting for the human rights of individuals across this nation and across the world when we created coalitions in France and Spain. Our organization is coordinating with people globally to fight back and ensure our human rights are respected and that we maintain our human rights as they are trying to be stripped away from us one piece at a time, one voice at a time, as they silence us. Well, Monday, we're going to let them know They're not silencing any of us. We know what's going on. We're talking to each other, and we're talking to the media, and we're going to keep talking to the media. So when you reach out Monday, it might be a good idea to try a few outlets. Try your local station for sure. Let them know that you're a local resident and you're reaching out to let them know what's happening in your city. And if you don't get a response right away, don't get frustrated. It's not easy to get the media to just tell your story. We've all been trying for a couple of years now, but we're starting to get some success. And if we do a national call day this Monday, we're going to be able to start making that statement to the media that they better start changing that narrative sooner than later. As one very disturbing conversation I had with a reporter whom I will not name, but I'm sure will see this broadcast, they advised that they plan to do the story on the corruption and the reasoning that this is happening to the pain patients after they finish laying the groundwork for the story. AKA, after they tell lots of patients' stories about not being able to access their medications and people committing suicide and other horrible crimes against humanity, they plan to just publicize this for God knows how long before they actually just tell the truth. The media is aware. Do not let them fool you and pretend that they are not aware. So when you call Monday, don't call them and ask them, are you aware the other side of the opioid crisis? Tell them, I'm sure you are aware of the other side of the opioid crisis, and we are calling to tell you our side and get our side into the media and into the mainstream knowledge. Now, reporters, I had come to find out in Georgia, are receiving awards for writing about the opioid crisis. This is a media dream come true. This is a legislate dream come true, because we can talk about it and push back and forth and divide the American public about pain patients against substance use patients and Democrats against Republicans, when it's all just an executed game from the elites and those in power. Well, we have a lot more power in our voice and in our unity. So let's take this day and take our ownership back of our lives. When you call the media in your station, let them know that you are a member of Chronic Illness Advocacy and Awareness Group, and that you are fully apprised as to what is going on in this country, and you are asking the media to stand up and do their job and tell the truth. And let them know that there are publications in the country where they are training doctors to remove patients off of their medication against their will. And individuals are dying and killing themselves. We need the public and the media to hear how bad this really is. And unfortunately, until it happens to you, most people just don't think about it. I would even say myself was guilty of this before I was diagnosed with my chronic illness. I was living in a state of blissful ignorance that I had no idea that people in this country were suffering the way that they are. And the majority of the people in this country do not know. And if they know, they will not support this. So our job Monday is to call the media and let them know that we're going to come out in 2018 and that we're going to make this an issue, and it is going to be a national issue, not just to be talked about and one sad story after the next to be publicized in the news. How about actually do something about it? Is there a reporter out there that's got the guts to tell the real story about the fact that the CDC falsified statistics, created a false campaign about opioid crisis in order to channel funds to the appropriate parties the government so sees fit? There are great legislators out there that do not know about this, and we have spoken with them, and they do now know, and they want to help, and they are helping. So have faith, everybody. We're winning. It might not look like it yet, but we are. I've been seeing a lot behind the scenes, and I've been seeing a lot on the front lines. And our organization is coming together very quickly and very powerful. We plan to work with our community all year in ensuring the safety of all American citizens, chronic illness patients, chronic pain patients, disabled, those who suffer from substance use disorder. We are all Americans. We are all human beings. We all deserve compassion and treatment in our time of need. And it's time that we give the world a wake-up call and let them know we're not going to take this silently. We're not going to sit in our beds and be tortured, quite literally, to death. That we're going to come together in peace and we're going to unite, and we are going to use our positive energy and our truth to get our human rights back, to show the public this great injustice that's been thrust upon some of the weakest and most vulnerable individuals in this country. Why? Because they can. Because they think they can. Because we don't have money. We don't have power. We're just too sick to fight back, and we don't know any better. Well, here on World of Pain, we're going to make sure you know what your rights are and who to call and how to get them back if they're taking them from you. So Monday on May 21st, I personally will be reaching out to media as well to let them know that World of Pain and Chronic Illness Advocacy and Awareness Group are working with the community to make sure all of your stories get told, because your voice matters, your pain matters, you matter. And it's time that we remind our elected officials this year that they work for us. And the media, they can make all the stories they want about pain patients suffering, and if they think they can slow roll this out for 2 or 3 years while millions of people suffer and thousands of people die of pain, side effects from not having their treatment properly taken care of, or literally put to the state of such suffering that an individual chooses to kill themselves just to escape the torment that was been thrust upon their lives due to healthcare policy changes with little to no science backing up the reasoning, and conflicts of interest so deep I wouldn't even know where to begin. So when you call your media on Monday morning, let them know that you want them out there telling the truth. Challenge them. I'd like to see who out there has the guts to tell the real story, because it seems to me the only ones that do are a group of individuals on Twitter and Facebook coming together every day saying we will not stand for this. But you know what? That group's getting bigger and bigger by the day. And we're getting connected to organizations that care. People care. People know. And they're going to find out, because we're going to make sure they do. And Monday, we hope our media comes together and tells the stories that need to be told. There is deep corruption behind this, and millions are dying. It's time for chronic illness patients and chronic pain patients to stand up proud and no longer allow themselves to be stigmatized and abused and discriminated against simply because the medication they use can be abused by others. We deserve better, and I am very proud to say that we're working on the right side of history, and we're going to win because we're on the right side of this. So don't give up. And Monday, make sure you make those calls. I'll be making them with you. And I'll be thrilled to see our community out there all across the nation in local papers, and hopefully those local papers will trickle right up into the national news. And before you know it, this issue will be everywhere in the country. And 2018 will be about the suffering and the inhumane abuse that was taken out on the chronically ill since the creation of the CDC guidelines in 2016. So thank you, everybody, and have a great day Monday. Pick up that phone, proud, and tell them that you're not asking to please do your story. You're saying enough is enough. It's time to do the story, not to lay the groundwork. Good luck, everybody. And please, let us know how you do. We'll be glad to share any of your successes and let everybody in the community know that we support our members, and your success matters to us. Your voice matters to us, and you matter. So have a wonderful day. Thank you.